Hello, welcome to another Becoming a Modern Man. We are playing our Goblins deck with Reckless Bushwhacker, and our opponent is also running a Goblins deck, so a bit of a mirror match. Our deck list was taken from a daily event. I believe it was run by underscore 72, who's an MTGO player who took it to 5-0 in the dailies. So making the rounds. Our opponent leads off with a Goblin Guide and attacks. We see a Foundry Street Denizen on the top, which is fine. So got some options here, obviously, a ton of 1-drops. Not sure what I'm going to lead off with here. I suppose Foundry Street Denizen is probably the best one to lead off with. In theory, we can drop 2 creatures next turn and attack for 3 with the Denizen, which is pretty good depending on what our opponent does. So he drops a Legion Loyalist, attacks for 2 again. Obviously not interested in blocking that. We draw a Bushwhacker, which is very good. Obviously, again, hopefully next turn we can drop another one of our 1-drops and the Bushwhacker in the same turn, and we'll be able to hit pretty hard. So that sounds pretty good to me. So can drop double Legion Loyalist here, so they're going to both be able to attack together, which will give my creatures trample and first strike. So that means that even if he does want to trade his Legion Loyalist with the Foundry Street Denizen, he can't. So all good for us. Basically, he doesn't have any good blocks, so that works out nicely for us. So you say battalion ability on the Loyalist takes effect, we get first strike and trample. Opponent hits me with a bolt to the face, which is fairly direct, and then attacks for 3, but doesn't have any other plays, which is kind of interesting. We draw a Goblin Guide off the top, so I think we're just going to run that out here, and then we can Bushwhacker. No idea how much damage that is just yet. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so we can do 13 damage, but our opponent has 2. And we're currently on 10, so our opponent's only got 1 land, so I suppose that's possibly part of the reason why he's not been able to play many spells. Attacks for 3, puts it down to 7, Lightning Bolt, and then has the Goblin Grenade to finish us off. So yeah, it's fairly unfortunate. I suppose based on our very strong position, we probably should have kept something back, maybe the Goblin Guide or something, to do some blocking, because yeah, as I say, we're basically there, so you didn't necessarily need to attack with everybody, and maybe that would have been the safest play, because basically we just got blown out there by the Goblin Grenade. I mean, the fact he got stuck on 1 land, so I was only really expecting 1 spell out of him, kind of is defensible, but yeah, I suppose just in general we were probably better off, you know, keeping something back, or maybe running out the Mogg Fanatic, and then we could have blocked the guide, killed the Legion Loyalist, and that would have worked out fairly nicely for us, kept us on a nice healthy life total probably, and just kept us in it really. So yeah, a little unfortunate there, probably got a bit overzealous with casting the Bushwhacker there, but never mind, on to game 2, see how this works out. But yeah, definitely felt that we probably should have won that for game 1. This hand's okay. I don't think we have anything in the sideboard that's particularly good. I think Dragon's Claw is our main card that we probably want to bring in, just because we gain a lot of life off of that. But we're on the play here, and we've got a Goblin Guide, so that's always nice. And then obviously the War Marshal is going to be relatively good. I mean, it's probably going to end up being like a defensive play for the most part, but I think that is fairly good for us to avoid getting swarmed on. So opponent has a Mogg War Marshal of his own. We're going to take the opportunity to kill his Goblin Guide here, blocking both guys, and get another token off our second War Marshal. Draw a Legion Loyalist, which we're going to drop out. We can now attack here and get the battalion going. So again, he's got no good blocks, which is good for us. And we've got another Mogg War Marshal to follow that up. He doesn't play the Echo on his War Marshal, so he's just got one Goblin here to attack with. But he's got the Loyalist and a Reckless Bushwhacker to sort that situation out for him. So he's got a nice little attack here. And again, the Legion Loyalist is going to play the same role that it did for us just a few seconds ago, and make any blocks that we want to do fairly poor. I just had to go for a block with the War Marshal. I don't particularly want to pay the Echo cost next turn, and it saves us a couple of points of damage. Maybe that's not the right thing to do, but I can't see me losing out too badly there. We're drawing a Lightning Bolt, so we have 6 points of damage in our hand, and we have exactly 6 points on the board, so that should be game, fortunately enough. Glad this one isn't going on much longer. And yeah, the double bolt wraps that game up. So yeah, that one went slightly better for us. Although game one also went pretty well for us in general. So but yeah, it just worked out. Got a nice amount of burn in our hand. It got the early damage in on the play, and then the War Marshals allowed us to sort of defend ourselves while also keeping a nice board presence, which took us to the win basically. So let's go on to game 3. So we're going to be on the draw here again, so not the ideal position, it has to be said. So our opponent's going to choose to play first. This is a pretty nice hand in general. Foundry Street, Denizen, Goblin Guide, Legion Loyalist, all good. I guess we'll probably lead with the Goblin Guide and then Denizen, Legion Loyalist. And War Marshal will do a nice job of pumping up Foundry Street, Denizen, and then eventually we'll be dropping a Chieftain, which hopefully can sort of run over the game for us. It plays a Goblin Guide, which gets us a land. Play our own Goblin Guide and hit him right back. He doesn't get a land, I don't think. No, Goblin Grenade has been revealed for our opponent. War Marshal comes down for our opponent. We get to draw another land off the Goblin Guide, which again is good. We draw a Reckless Bushwhacker, which might well be very nice a little bit later on here. So question here is, do we want to we can either play out our 2 1/1s, or we can run out a War Marshal of our own. Looks like I went for the War Marshal here. Don't particularly like the attack here. I don't really want him to trade Goblin Guide for War Marshal and Goblin. And also, I'm not too unhappy with not getting an attack here. I mean, we're going to build a pretty nice board for ourselves if we're left unhindered. And then the Reckless Bushwhacker will hopefully just run through the rest of the damage. So I'm not too upset about being on the defensive here. I'm going to play a Legion Loyalist and attack, which is fine. Going to try and kill the Legion Loyalist by blocking with a Guide, but he has a bolt, which is fine. We didn't play the Echo on the War Marshal there, so we probably should have blocked with it, I guess. Could have saved us a couple of points of damage if we blocked the Guide there. So yeah, that probably would have been the better play. Draw another Legion Loyalist. Decided to use the Reckless Bushwhacker here. We can put in quite a bit of damage here, sort of even up things. And we've got this grenade in hand as well, so we can possibly throw that at our opponent's face. It's still going to be tight though, I suppose. If our opponent has like a Bushwhacker or anything, that's going to be pretty rough for us. But I suppose we're kind of hoping he doesn't kill us on the swing back. He's only got a couple of lands, so that makes it less likely we're going to take a serious beating on the swing back, and then hopefully we can do something pretty crazy. I mean, next turn potentially we can play a Goblin Chieftain, attack with everybody, and then Grenade as well, just to finish off the opponent. So there's a lot of plays open to us. We are risking getting killed on the swing back, but our deck doesn't exactly work too well on blocking, really. Particularly with the Legion Loyalist, makes blocking particularly bad. So Goblin Guide gets us another land. That's the third land we've managed to get off the Goblin Guide. I think he can knock us to 1, but he doesn't have any more lands, so that's very good for us. Yeah, as I say here, we're able to use the Chieftain here to attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so the attack's actually enough here, but obviously very close. The attack kills our opponent, but even if it didn't, we still have an extra 5 points of damage here with the Goblin Grenade sat in hand. But yeah, very tight, very close. Obviously, one extra land probably would have probably allowed our opponent to finish us off. If he played another Goblin before his Bushwhacker, that would have done it, and another burn spell would have probably done it as well. So yeah, very tight games, but you can't really play too defensively because then you're kind of losing out on your own win condition, really. Goblin's not the best on defense in general. So yeah, we played hard, we played aggressive. Probably should have won game 1 because we were a little bit too aggressive, I guess. But all worked out in the end. But yeah, I think it's always going to be a fairly close game, and probably down to who hits the bigger haymakers the quickest.